Hi, I'm Dr. Kathleen Young, board certified child and adolescent psychiatrist. And I want to do a quick video on nonverbal communication differences in autism spectrum disorder. And I think there's a lot of overlap with neurodivergence in general. So what does that mean? What does it mean, nonverbal communication? I think a lot of what people know about autism is this lack of eye contact. And so sometimes people on the spectrum don't make eye contact with you, or they don't make it for very long. Sometimes it's very subtle. I mean, the more I look for it, I can tell. It seems as though someone is looking at me, but when you really look at them, they're not. Their eyes are kind of off to the side, or they're looking at like a different part of my face, but not necessarily making direct eye contact. So I think there are people who are better at masking, who are good at this. They can pretend like they're making eye contact when they're not. And if you ask them about that they'll tell you that they're not. So that's the one nonverbal communication that people really think about with autism. But it's all of it. Not knowing what somebody means when they're smiling, or if they're laughing in this situation, does it mean that they're going to laugh in this situation, or is it if they're smiling here, does that mean the same thing as it meant when they were smiling before? The way body language, all of that can be difficult to interpret in autism spectrum disorder. And I think these are the things that make social interaction so exhausting for people on the spectrum, is because they're always trying to figure out what's going on in the interaction, and they don't always know. And similarly, I think they sometimes have trouble using nonverbal communication. So it's not just eye contact. I think sometimes, they can look there. I've seen people who are very flat. They don't smile very much. And then you ask them and they're like, no, I'm fine. But they look depressed. And so, but they're like, no, I'm fine. And so I think there is a way in which they don't always know when to smile, or how to use their facial expressions or their body language. And it can leave other people in a situation feeling like the interaction was awkward, or they weren't sure. So that's what I would say about nonverbal communication.